of all, let me introduce you to Erik, who's just joined us. He's going to be one of our panelists as well, so just give him a round of applause. And guys, I actually will start with the second question, and that is for you all. Is there any crisis happening at all? Because we heard some statements today that the crisis is not actually happening, but it seems like according to my LinkedIn at least profile, there is a lot of fear that the sky is falling. So what is your opinion? Erik, you can go first.
Thanks. Well, there is no crisis happening because we are already in crisis mode. So we're doing everything to avert it. And everyone's been waiting for the crisis for so many years that I think we were happy to jump on, just more responsibilities, bring it on. And that's why the world is not burning yet. But it's thanks to all the people who are currently in crisis mode. So if you feel that, everyone in the economy thanks you.
Thank you. Jiri, you actually had quite a lot of strong opinions. So what is your take on the current crisis?
So I still believe that crisis is something how we perceive the things that are happening, but it doesn't make any difference to the job that we're supposed to do. Yes, over time, there's been a huge surge in terms of how many product managers and product roles came into existence in so many organizations. But I believe that you guys know the hype curve, right? We might be coming to the disillusionment that we may not actually need so many product managers because they took on a lot of responsibilities that are not as valuable to the organization. My take on this. So yes, we may be seeing less LinkedIn invites, less demand for product managers because the organizations are already saturated, but I don't call it a crisis. Yes, there are economic macro issues that are happening, that are influencing us all, but that's, to me, it's another opportunity, another driver for us to be more creative, or more people, figure shit out.
Still recording. Thank you. Ondrej, your take?
I would mention two things. First thing is that specifically with software, we have seen a huge bubble in the last years. Software companies scale well if you pour millions of dollars on them, and they did. And we have seen that people could drive the companies and build them up from the scratch and become unicorns in years. This is not normal. So one thing which I observed is that specifically with software, it's a painful but bubble burst, and we are seeing the normal now. It's a painful time, and there are many people on the job market with these skills. But to put things into context, I built product teams in Berlin, and our primary problem before the crisis and now is how to fill the jobs with senior candidates. This is the number one problem. Germany has a problem to compete on a global market. Talented Indians were going to US, to San Francisco before. How do you get these product leaders to go to Berlin? Thankfully, in the US they got Trump to some degree, so we were able to compete. And we were able to get people for 1/3 of the salary from San Francisco to Germany, just because they can get a more stable and family-friendly life. So from this perspective, we still have a problem of filling the positions for senior candidates. We observe that in software there is an influx of junior candidates. I have 3 years of experience with product. I want to switch jobs. Why don't you sponsor my visa and move me to Germany? Probably no company will do that because you can get an intern locally. But this is something which one can see. And I will finish with this sentence. If we look beyond software, operations, hardware, not much has changed. The demand was relatively stable before, demand is here now. So my advice to juniors that are asking how I do get the job now, look on the solutions that are in between of the software and the real world, where the demand is stable, where the career is relatively stable, no unicorns out of that, but a great job experience is there.
I will actually follow with the next question. Do you think we are living in AI bubble?
I wouldn't mention a bubble. I would mention we are in the hype period. So all of you probably have somewhere seen the graph. When a new technology comes in, there's a moment of silence. That's the time when nobody understands the technology. That's the time when we were talking about machine learning and this kind of stuff. Nobody likes that geeky stuff. Then somebody says, like, we do AI now. We build a new HAL 3000 and stuff. Peak. Everything will change. BCG consultants started writing articles about it. We are on top of this peak now. Everybody is thinking like how AI will change our world. It will. Don't link your career to that, because you could be making the same choice like people doing crypto here. Every technology goes through that. After 2 years, people will be telling like AI can do nothing. This will again still be not true. It will average out. So not a bubble, but it's good to be aware on which stage the discussion over technology is, and kind of filter it accordingly.
Okay, thank you very much. Erik, what do you think about the matter? How do you perceive the hype? Does it affect your role in general?
Yeah, so we've all felt that we had pretty much the same starting line, and everybody felt like, I need to capitalize on this hype, right? But it's probably way too late. You said that you're working with AI for 10 years? Oh, okay, someone has, it's just too late. But it made me really anxious. And I want to say to everyone, like, if you've been feeling anxious about what am I going to do with this hype, how can I get on the train, that's normal. But what I figured out is that, yes, we will be speaking to more and more bots, but that will only make the human interactions more rare and more valuable. So us as PMs, if we focus on human needs and user needs for real people, that's where the value will be. So I'm not worried about hype.
Thank you. And Jirko, because you were so pragmatic, I want you to move to the next question. What to do when my boss panics, gives me more opportunistic and shorter ideas about what to do when I feel that we're not staying on the right path? What should I do?
This could afford a book on how to coach your boss. My favorite answer, it depends. It depends on so many different characteristics of your relationship with your boss. Is he asking for it because he has a clear problem and he just comes back to you with a solution? Figure out the problem. You might be missing, as I mentioned in my talk, you might be missing some context of what the company is trying to do, or some key metric that is linked to his salary or something. Figure that one out. Once you figure it out, that's when you figure out why it matters to him so much that you will spend whatever amount of money, time, resources on opportunistic short-term ideas. It could be that he's really doesn't have any idea of what's going to happen. He's, as we have this term, he's taking used socks, throwing it in the wall. The ones that stick, they're still useful.
Thank you. Ondrej, your take?
Happy to discuss the specifics in person because I understand it's not an ideal answer.
So I would say that if your boss pushes you to do anything, the advice from your kind of understand the reason makes sense. I do believe that more often than rarely, the reasons are personal and economic. In a big corporation, it's normal that your boss is paid in stock options. The stock is down. I have been working in this company for 10 years and now I have 0. We need something. We need to figure it out. And what's safe for you, what's best for you, it's his problem in the end. You might be paid the same, you might be paid differently, but stick to your product strategy, stick to the problems, and figure out what's best.
Thank you. And you want to add something more?
Something to add? Try an experiment. Go build it, but figure out the metrics, what you're after. Make it a hypothesis. Maybe you are able to validate it before the things gets built. You speak with a couple of customers, maybe he did as well, and that's where he got the hunch. He could be strong, or she could be strong in intuition as well. that can be totally good as well. But figure out like how can you speed up the time to fail or time to succeed.
And Erik, do you have any secret tips how to manage your boss?
Yeah, so I really love what you said about understanding the problem, and I think that we as PMs are in the great position to actually know them even beforehand. We are working with all kinds of stakeholders, we're in touch with all parts of the business, so we know the beat of the street. And we should ideally be able to see into the future, see those problems before the CEO does, and we should have a plan. And that's how you know handle him. I've been here. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but this is not happening. So
Thank you, Ondrej. Because you are our today's expert on AI. There's a nice question about responsibility and decisions when it comes to AI. So I'm going to twist the question a bit. If I decide to replace my boss with the AI and he's going to make decisions, who's going to be responsible for the outcomes?
I would maybe offer a few more questions. To give a perspective, we're asking who would be responsible for AI-related decisions? Who is responsible for webhook-related decisions or for Web3-related decisions? Responsible is everybody in the company, and accountable is the person depending on what problem we are solving or who has the biggest stake. So again, AI is just a tool, it's just a solution or a way of working. It's no magic. So in here, answer is really depends. If we're talking AI-related decision like, hey, let's automate our sales funnel, I would say that responsible would be any funnel engineer, accountable would be head of sales. If we would be talking about how to replace the bosses in the company with AI, I guess there was a company that tried to work without bosses. Then I would believe that it will be either an executive or a head of HR to be accountable for how the people decisions are made. So,
thank you very much. And I feel it's still going to shape, right? That once the more and more regulations are going to come into play, and again we'll see how the different roles are going to be defined similar with GDPR, right?
that's correct. So even with GDPR, we are currently on a liquid ground where often we are consulting legal, what is the interpretation. It's not that long ago when GDPR was implemented, we are now implementing another breakthrough. So it will be normal that there will be higher ambiguity than before where kind of everything was allowed. And there will be higher cooperation needed between the product manager, legal, in some cases HR, and in some cases ethical operations.
Okay, thank you very much. And I really liked that you stated that AI is just a technology, and I really feel that today it's getting a lot of attention because it's hype, but really it's just another tool that could be used for good, but also misused. So we need to be aware of that. Irko, the days of essentially free money are over, so you no longer can get an investment based on your napkin drawing. And there's suddenly a lot of pressure happening in your organizations. Don't mess with the audio, please. There's a lot of pressure. How do you feel the role of PMs is going to change because of that pressure? Because suddenly the organizations focus more, as you mentioned, on profitability over growth.
My boss is Irish and he loves the phrase, it's time to put your big boy pants on. Because until now we haven't considered the ROI or the business aspect of what you're doing, then you have been just scratching the surface of doing a product. Maybe you have helped UX, maybe you have helped engineers do their job, making some decisions. But if you guys remember, I specifically made it bold and underscored it has to work for the business. So you have to crash the numbers, come up with some models, some ways of what you're building. So I would expect that role of PM is not going to change much. as much as the pressure to ensure that there is some kind of de-risking business thinking, right? I'm sure that's clear.
Okay. Erik, do you feel that your role changed since the pressure started? Do you actually feel it in your daily job?
Yeah, I think definitely. But I'm still in the same role, whether we had money or the money's drying up, or we're trying to, make our runway take us longer. But I think it should all make us think about sustainability of the business, and not go for the hyper growth. And this is something that all the old school businesses or industries, have known for years, and that's the basis of human activity to be sustainable, not just in ecological terms, but making sure that you can do what you're doing and grow at that pace. So when I'm thinking about that, in a way, if we're able to create a sustainable business, less pressure on scaling buys us more time, because you're just not going crazy and you're going, step by step. And you just need to make sure that you're not making so many not mistakes. You don't have money to burn. Take that time to think stuff through. Because you're not always like a few months away from a funding round. It's a long game now.
Thank you.
And one more, it depends, because if you're in a very well-defined market and your product has a good product market fit, then you may be actually up for asking for more money, despite the fact that there's no free money. Consider that your product is kind of in a mature environment, it's selling kind of well, but it has a lot of competitors, so it's kind of a red ocean. In the end, you have an opportunity to either expand geographically, go wider, which means build a platform with multiple different aspects that you start serving to your customers. So once you create this kind of bold, big bet, again, if you do numbers, figure it out, maybe you don't have to build it, you can partner up with someone, test it first, or go and buy someone. That's how you ask for more money, because if you see a competitor or alternative to your product that is actually a good complement to what you guys are doing, and it can be sold to the same customers, then if it's a healthy business, why not to merge forces and help customers together?
And actually, I would like to expand on that point that you mentioned about raising money these days. It's actually still happening. Investors are still funding companies, and it's a good time. But what you should expect these days is that they will have more questions about your product market fit and about sustainability of your business. There's going to be more focus on how you can get to that profitable stage. But if you have a very interesting product, they will still raise other investors to give you extra money. So keep that in mind, that these times are as good as any others for crazy ideas that just need funding. Ondrej, anything you would add to this question?
I would maybe put things into context. We are always talking about the VC funding companies. Like we have a runway, we have an investment, we need to get to Series B, get to Series C, run into unicorn IPO and go out. But the majority of European economy works on a different, more stable basis. And there are great companies that are, for example, profitable for the last 20, 30 years, that are investing long terms, that are, for example, still private owned. And I would not say that the free money ended, because the free money was never in here. The investor money was available for a small subset of companies that allowed them to speculate, play the lottery, and kind of play the lottery that the next exit will get them more. But the engine of the economy is built, for example, in Germany, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like a 60% of the economy is built with small companies, up to 250 employees. This is something where you can build a great career and where you can get great products. Probably they will not write articles about you in San Francisco, but you will make a change and you will build great products and you will probably have a great boss that cares about the product.
Awesome. Ondrej, while we have the mic, have you ever had to tackle just fucking do it requests coming from C-level? What was your strategy?
I'm not the best guy to deal with unreasonable and I'm not a diplomat. So I did in such a situation once replied and just fucking hire somebody else. And so we then kind of escalated explaining what we all aim to do and so on. So like there is this method to escalate later on, but I don't like doing such a thing, and if I don't like doing my job, then I will not do it. So like maybe there's a better method. Good advice.
I have to say that I've been really lucky that this just does not happen to us, and I think it's if you as a product org have a track record of really thinking about the business and really showing that you have the best interest of the business in mind, and you have the track record, then you should be able to carve your boundaries well. Every boss is different, and so it is really hard to say.
Alright, then next question for you. Do you think, you said that we'll see less product managers being around. Do you believe that the PM role will prevail or it will just disappear? So what do you think, how it's going to evolve in the long term? And what do you do?
Long term, you mean like 100 years?
Let's say
Next few years. Next few years, I'd say product managers will be here, will be around. There's going to be more demand for being more business savvy, more business oriented. There's going to be possibly some ask for being more cross-functional, so being data savvy, being able to do some UX work, being able to do your own research and so on, because companies are trying to figure out how to do more with less. Every single company does that. If the company is rich enough or has already established a way of working that they have a dedicated UX, dedicated architects, and so on and so forth, then probably they have the capacity or the opportunity to have dedicated PMs. So I wouldn't expect that there's not going to be any PM job eventually, but it can get optimized by yourselves with the use of the tools that Ondrej mentioned heavily. Whether it's that you need to restate the problem based on customers' feedback, which is discussed earlier today with Nikki. Yeah, why don't you push your insights into ChatGPT and say, figure out what the problem is. Maybe it can help you that way. But you have to experiment and find a way how you can stay relevant and maybe save time to do some of the more work that right now you don't have time for.
And do you have any tips for the teams that had to let some of their members go and suddenly they have to manage more workload?
Prioritize. Figure out what really matters, what drives the business. Because sometimes you can have like a responsibility of doing competitive intelligence. Perfect. What does it mean? Do you every day have to examine the competitors, what are they doing, and so on? Or you go and I think there's a tool Clue or something like that can do this for you, and you just consume the results once a week, maybe less. So again, figure out which parts of the job have to be done still manually versus which parts of the job can be automated or can be brought to you as insights.
Ondrej, any additional tips? How to handle more work?
I would say that stick to the basics. So I'm not talking about B2C, but in B2B. If you have too much work, then I would say do less of the work and speak more to the customers. So for example, your current example, you now need to watch the competition. Trust me, every renewing customer is watching your competition more closely than you. For you, talk to them. Now you might need to give inputs about pricing. Again, talk to your customers, understand their budgets, understand how the budget is formed and who is approving it. We might be talking about your boss is telling you now, figure out how to implement the fucking AI, so that's how we are AI-driven company. Talk to your clients. Do they care? So I do recommend for B2B world, if you do not have one call with a customer per day, you are not doing your job properly.
Thank you. Yeah, Erik, anything you would like to add?
I wanted to tackle the question about whether there will be PMs in the future.
Sure.
I think being PM is the ultimate role. I think it's one of the few jobs that will be left. From the jobs that we know, that there will be other jobs as well. But I think it really is the one that is going to stay, and you're going to see PMs everywhere. Like my wife, she works in restaurants. They need PMs. Everything is a product. That thinking that we've just, tech has pioneered that, but all these best practices, that's how you build a good business, that's how you build good product, that's how you speak with customers. You need that in everything. We need that on a local level, we need that in politics. PMs will be everywhere. So it's still just the beginning. I think we're in a good place. Don't worry, even if you can't find a job right now that says hiring, senior PM, super good with comp, your skills are invaluable. So hold on to them.
Thank you. And guys, I will take the last question. Do you have any personal hack or tip that really is saving you time in these days? Something that you implemented in recent weeks that really helped you save some time or months?
I have realized that no matter how long I work, I get the same shit done at the end of the day. So I prioritize my private life first. It's sometimes complex time, sometimes a lot of stuff is happening, people are yelling, people are in panic. Don't start working before 9 or 10. Go for a walk, take your dog out, be in the morning with your kids, drive them to kindergarten, take your personal life, because then when the shit starts, it will not end up. You will still be thinking about it in the evening and so on, regardless of when you start. So one thing I have learned is prioritize yourself. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. That's just it.
Erik?
I wanted to say the same. It's about sustainability today, what I wanted to say is that if you have lots of tasks that you can, and I assume that the question was like, how did you use ChatGPT to automate your stuff? If there is a lot of stuff coming at you, that stuff that's coming is not the problem. Probably the problem happened already before, so it's better to save time to come up with good plan and good decisions that save you from this. So there's I'm not looking for hacks to automate things, but it's the best hack is speaking with your team and bringing everyone together and making sure that you have all the perspectives. That's the best hack, and there's no way around it.
Mirko?
I disagree with Ondrej. I love to wake up early in the morning. But whatever you do, as Ondrej mentioned, prioritize yourself, prioritize what you value the most. Because this is going to be really, really hard, right? Because yes, we're trying to do the best that we can for the products that we're responsible for. We're trying to do the best that we can to make sure that those products are successful. But we have our life as well. We have our family, friends that we have to take care of. We have to stay sane. So if you need to take a break, take a break. That's what worked for me. Work-wise, I just try to keep Thursdays and Fridays as much without meetings as possible, because that's when I get some shit done. That's when people are not interacting and so on. Whether that means I'm the owner of the time, which means, if someone asks, can I have a discussion about this? It reminds me, you're the owner of your time. Which means I can say, okay, you know what, let's wait until Monday. I'm right now busy with something else. And things will wait. Let the fire burn, as we learned.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys, and everyone give them a round of applause. And with that, I'm going to pass pass the word for the last time to Pavel, and he's going to wrap up the session and give us some last words.
Now you're supposed to hear me. Alright, so guys, thanks everyone for coming here. It was really fun, it was very insightful, and we're so happy that we again had a chance to organize this for you. Behind me you can see just the members of the organization team, and I would like to even say that Diancha from the Innovation Center plays a crucial role in that, and we would like to thank you again, our partner, for this venue and the catering and making it happen. I would like to thank you again, our speakers. We pay them absolutely nothing. Sorry, Ondrej knew it here. And this is even motivation for all of you guys who would like to speak next time. No, but seriously, we always try to establish a new topic and a new event, a new venue, etc., and then like move it somewhere forward. And for the next time, we're planning to make the next event after Christmas, most probably, in case we don't figure out any other way how to do things. So if you have any topic, if you think things are interesting and shareable with the other people who would like to talk about something, the community of Proacting is here to support meeting with people. So reach out to us on LinkedIn anytime. We're more than happy to even help you with the topics, give you feedback, whatever what we know to give you back. Because our only goal is to basically make sure that people meet together, talk together, and support. And we, as we grow, we are pretty sure that more and more people can help each other. So we together are here just to make sure that you guys will meet, nothing else. So that's all from us today, is it? I believe so.
Yes, but you, of course, are more than welcome to stay and have a conversation, or we can take it somewhere to a nice bar, have a beer or two or more. That's how we feel. But thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate you being here with us tonight. And that's it.
That's it.